Happy birthday to Yogananda ji, and may we receive his blessings. In fact, become able to receive the abundant blessings that are his always for us. So I'll read from this book, Mejda, and because Yogananda ji, he hasn't written much about himself, this has been written by his younger brother. So I'll try and give a story which will elucidate why Master came to this world. So you would have read in Autobiography of a Yogi about the story when how Master's father met Lahiri Masha ji, and in that meeting or before that meeting, what all happened. Let's try and delve into that. So there was this employee of Master's father. Master's father's name was, he was working with the railways, and his worker, in fact working under him, was Avinash Babu. And Avinash Babu was a disciple of Lahiri Masha ji. And he used to at times take leave and go and meet Lahiri Masha ji. And at that time, Master's father was a believer that one has to work in the world and make a place for oneself. So he was not that forthcoming in granting that leave. And once he asked, and his father, Master's father, refused the leave. And so I'll pick up the story after this, after he had rebuked this Avinash Babu. And then he felt that he had rebuked him a bit too much. So he got down from his palkin, and while Avinash Babu was walking, he walked along with it. And this is what it says further. The roadway was lined with large shady trees. Their leafy branches intertwined overhead to form a natural caravanserai. In this peaceful setting, it was not difficult to feel the presence of divine architect. Father was silent. Father here is Yogananda ji's father. Motionless, absorbed in this grand display of nature. Then, just a few yards ahead, a person of tranquil visage suddenly appeared. Avinash exclaimed, "He is Lahiri Masha, my guru." Both father and Avinash were astonished to hear Lahiri Masha's gentle remonstrance. "Bhagavati Babu," that is Master's father, "you are too hard on your employee." In an instant, Lahiri Masha disappeared. Though they searched the area, Master was nowhere to be found. With a rush of tears, Avinash threw himself on the ground. Father was awestruck. Kneeling down, he tenderly touched Avinash and said affectionately, "Avinash, I will surely grant you leave, and I too want to go to Banaras. Will you take me to your Guru? He who can appear at will to help his devotee is surely a great being, one with the preceptor of the universe. My wife and I will take initiation from him and seek his guidance for our sadhana." Father and mother, who were expecting their fourth child, that is Master, departed for Benares the next evening. When they reached the foyer of Lahiri Masha ji looked at father with a penetrating gaze and said, in the same tone that they had heard on the field 2 days before, "Bhagavati Babu, you are too hard on your employee." Father was thrilled to the very core of his heart. He hung his head humbly. No one had ever chastised him before. And when the blessing was given, what I was coming to, Lahiri Masha ji showed keen interest in Mejda's impending birth. After initiating mother, he said, "My daughter, through the grace of God, your son will be a prophet. He will show mankind the way to God realization. Through his life and teachings, many people will slough off the delusions of this world and find salvation. You traveled here by train. Verily, you saw how the engine pulled the cars. In the same manner, your son will draw souls from the ordinary to the divine spheres." It is perhaps from this incident that Paramhansa Yogananda ji's mother had said to him, "Shortly before your birth, Lahiri Mashya ji told me that you would follow his path. The prediction about Yogananda ji's divine mission was repeated when Lahiri Mashya ji blessed him when he was an infant. In the words of Paramhansa ji's mother, as recorded in autobiography, I first knew your destined path when you were a babe in my arms. I carried you then to the home of my guru in Banaras, Lahiri Mashya, who was seated, and he seated you on his lap, placed his hand on your forehead by way of spiritually baptizing you. Little mother, thy son will be a yogi. As a spiritual engine, he will carry many souls to God's kingdom. So, what I wanted to bring out today is, are you willing to be that car that is being drawn by that engine, which our master is? His blessings exist for all of us. In fact, more than we can take. But we have to prepare ourselves to receive the blessings. As a famous doha or whatever you might call it, कि देने वाले ने तो बहुत कुछ दिया, पर अगर हमने आंचल ही ना फैलाया तो हम क्या मांग सकते हैं? You have to make the receptacle of your heart strong enough to receive the blessings of these masters. And today we have to make this mission of master a success by following these teachings and going across this ocean of delusion. Remember that one touch which Swami Kriyananda said is very important in our lives. And a lot of us might think that master is not here, so how are we going to get that touch? That touch is the touch of a Kriyacharya. Do not take this life and this blessing that you have received when you got Kriya as a normal ceremony. If you are able to receive it the way it is meant to be, your life will change in an instant. As Swami Kriyananda himself said, when he had traveled across the US to meet Master, the first words he said to Master was, I want to be your disciple. And at that moment, Master touched Swami Kriyananda on his heart. And his actually finger trembled at that moment. He was touching him for more than 2 minutes. Though Swami Kriyananda, in his own words, felt nothing, but he said he was instantly changed. After that, all the restlessness of his heart was gone. We too must prepare ourselves to receive these blessings. And like Master was, be playful and be magnanimous on the way and not be too serious like we tend to get. So here's wishing Master happy birthday once again and hoping and praying that we too receive his blessings. Thank you so much, Ji. Om Guru.
Thank you, Naveen ji, for sharing beautiful words and the story. And what a joyous and inward time on Master's birthday. So, congratulations everyone who's into this journey of spiritual life, connected with Master. It is like sometimes we meditate and do not understand the meaning behind that particular thing. Like we say that at the starting of the year, we make some resolutions, some do's list or to-be list that I want to be this. So when we make this, we have to magnetize it to get the better result. So what a blessing that at the starting of the year, Master's birthday is here to remind us that meditate and attune into the consciousness of Master to magnetize your list of do's and to be, so that it gives you the result you wanted from that list. So attunement is the first thing which I think we should think about on Master's birthday, attuning to Master's consciousness to feel that divine love, that divine peace, that calmness. So we have to understand these meanings, like we have seen in autobiography of Yogi also, Master moved from one place to another, meeting different saints. It is not that Master's consciousness was less than any of the saints he met. He wanted to demonstrate whatever activity we are doing, be calm into that activity and stay focused to the attunement of divine. So that is the demonstration of saints throughout their life and into their stories, whatever they want to demonstrate. So this is one point we should understand while we meditate, attune into that consciousness to understand the pattern and to understand what Master is trying to demonstrate. I'll share a sweet story of Master when he was a little boy, known as Mukunda. Mukunda Lal Ghosh was his name by birth before the monk status. And Mukunda, at the age of 6, though he was born into a very prosperous family, like his father was at a very higher position into railways, and he could give security and materialistic fulfillment to his family. And into those love of mother and gentle discipline by his father and love of his siblings, he had a very tender love towards divine, towards God. In that tenderness, he used to feel God as an eternal friend. And while he was talking to his wishes, he said, why not to write a letter to my eternal friend God? And I have so many questions. So in his innocence, he wrote a letter in Bengali just mentioning to dear God, and posted that letter, mentioning all the things he wanted to know from God, from his eternal friend. He wrote all the things into that letter, and then he said, I have to wait for 2-3 days because God is busy. He's looking after everything, so I have to wait for 2-3 days. But he still was looking forward to the answer from the God. And letters came, postman came. He used to run to the gate of his house, looking that maybe my letter from God has come as an answer. But days passed by, letters came for his father, for his mother, for his brother, but he couldn't find his answer from God. So one evening, while he was praying, he said, God, I know you are busy, but spare some time to answer my questions. They are very important. There are so many things I want to know from you. So please spare some time and answer me. Okay, I'll wait a little longer, but you have to answer. And see the love and the devotion or the faith he had in his eternal friend. He said, he is sure to give me answer, but maybe it is little delayed. And after a couple of days, while he was meditating in the evening, a light flashed, and through the tunnel of light, the letter came to Mukunda, the little boy Mukunda, and that was into Bengali script. And he read happily, and everything he asked in his letter was answered by God, his eternal friend. So this is not only a story, it is like demonstrating us that this kind of love and devotion is required to have the answers to your prayers. This type of attunement and unconditional love to your eternal friend, to God, is required. Every prayer is then answered. And this is what the whole thing is demonstrating also. Like he was going from saints to saints, though his consciousness was maybe higher than these saints or maybe equal to these saints, but he was demonstrating while doing this, you still have to attune to God. So this is a very thoughtful thing, that whenever we meditate, attune into the consciousness of Master. He is giving us a gentle reminder through everything. On his birthday, it is such a beautiful, joyous time, and inward too, to think about our attunement with God and to the consciousness of Guru, so that we can reach out to those vibrations where we can actually feel that divine love, that divine consciousness will answer our questions. So, thanks to our Guru, the Master, for taking birth into this incarnation, touching out, reaching out to so many souls to show them the path of spiritual journey, and let us hold our hands with the Master's consciousness by attuning into the consciousness of Master while we meditate, to hold our hands and move us forward. We don't have to imitate the physical thing, but we have to attune into the attitude by which Master lived his life. So that is the message I think that we can receive on his birthday, that he came for the beautiful teachings to reach out to all the souls who are ready to receive that love and that type of teaching to lead us to a fulfilling or maybe very beautiful spiritual journey. So again, have a blessed birthday, attuning into Master's consciousness, and move forward to our do's list so that it can be more fruitful to us. Om Guru. Joy to all.
Once again, congratulations to all of us on Master's birthday. May Master's love and light be with us always in our lives. Thank you, Naveen ji and Nirupma ji, for sharing such beautiful stories of Master. As Naveen ji said, that Master came into this world as an engine to pull other cars, to bring divine, ordinary souls to the divine stairs. And as Niru also said, that Master was visiting different saints. That doesn't mean he was not having that consciousness, that enlightenment. In fact, as Naveen ji said in the beginning, Lahiri Mahashya ji told his father that the son which is coming to their family, he is already a divine soul, an enlightened one. But we would see Master lived his life like an ordinary person, just to teach all of us a lesson, so that we may understand what the life is. And Master's life is full of motivational and inspirational stories. One of the stories I would like to share with you is of the time when Master was running a school at Ranchi, and that school was spread in 25 acres of land. It was having a big fruit orchard, and many pets were there. And one small pet, one small deer was also there. And that deer was favorite to everyone, each and every student, and to Master also. Master loved that deer so much that he would bring that deer to his room in the night so that they may sleep together there. And one day, Master was to go somewhere. He used to look after deer. He used to look after his meals. But when he was to go somewhere, Master thought, why shouldn't I give the deer an early meal so that students may not give him different type of meal? So he fed the deer before time and cautioned all the children that I have given the deer his meal, don't give him anything. But one of the children, he was disobedient. He again fed the deer. And by the time Master came, he got a news that deer is not well, deer is sick. Master immediately rushed, and apparently deer was breathless. Master took the deer into his lap and prayed to God, "Oh God, don't take him now. This is not the time. Please give this deer his life." And after hours of praying, that deer opened his eyes, and he started walking. So everyone was in a joyful mood. Deer is all right now. And when the master, he went to his room to have sleep, a dream came to master. And in that dream, that deer came. He asked master, "Why you don't let me go? Why you stopped me going? I want to go. Let me go." Master said, "Oh, is this the case? Okay, I let you go." So he asked divine that I don't intervene, you can take the deer. Immediately his eyes opened, master's eye, and he cried, "Deer is dying, deer is dying, deer is dying." And all the children from the adjoining rooms, they came to his room and they saw that deer was lying on the floor. And he was having fast breathing. And he tried to get up but could not. And he died. So his life was gone. Master said, with his life, master's grief and shock also gone. Now what master here wanted to give us a lesson. It was not that he actually was aggrieved. He was in grief. No. By this, master told children that God always wants that you see everyone as his own part, God's part. Death does not bring everything to an end, because everyone is living his life as per his karmas. A delusive soul, he cannot see behind the wall of death. He cannot see the faces of their cherished one. But a wise person, a person with the wisdom, he would always see that if a soul is going, he has to make an evolution, next step forward to his karmic life. So deer was to transform into a better life. If master holds the deer back, it means he will be struggling in this life only. That's what is happening with all of us. If any of our family members, he is bedridden or is fighting with life, we pray to God, save him, save him, save her. Isn't it? We pray without knowing anything what is at the back, what is in his benefit. So always accept his will. Whatever he is doing for the betterment of the soul. So let us, on Master's birthday, rededicate ourselves to follow the teachings of Master more devotedly, regularly, and willingly. Om Guru.
Thank you very much for that beautiful sharing from all of you. That's okay. So I'll just add a little bit as well, and then we'll have our ceremony. So it's so nice to hear we picked up different parts of Naveen talked about Master's birth. Niru told of his boyhood. Master Preminderji told of a little bit later on with the deer, which we've read in autobiography. But it's so interesting actually in this time. Yesterday I was trying to look through, I want to see some stories of Master, so let's look at where can I find, and actually I just realized, I just picked up these 4 from the boutique, but we are so blessed actually, we have so many. So one, we all know from Swamiji's New Path. So a lot of wonderful stories there. If you haven't read it yet, please do pick this up. It's more about only Master, the whole book, and such wonderful stories from the ashram life and from the time that he met Master basically. And then this one is something which Nirupma's story was from Stories of Mukunda. This is of stories of Yoganandaji's youth. So some really beautiful, it's compiled by Swamiji, but he says true episodes from the boyhood. So these actually happen, and some really very beautifully written, very, very sweet. They touch your heart in a wonderful way. And then there's the biography of Yogananda, which Swamiji said, an autobiography of a yogi was there. So somebody asked him, so why do you need to write a biography? He already wrote an autobiography. But Swamiji said, because in autobiography, he wrote more about others, about other saints than himself. So this shows actually a lot of, himself, how great he was. So many wonderful stories, miracles, just things that happened. So these are good books. And from this book, this came out very recently. This is reminiscence by some of his other direct disciples. And, there's one story by Hare Krishna Ghosh. So the first part of it is by his nephew. That is his brother, his youngest brother's son. So Hare Krishna Ghosh. And the whole family happened to be Kriya Yogis, disciples of Master. And, so his Hare Krishna Ghosh's thing, when you read it, it's so beautifully written. I was just reading yesterday. And, even the English is like in that Bengali style of English, with the grammar and everything. So it takes you into that world, you might say, of Master's home. And he lived, of course, in Master's home in Gurpar Road, which is there in Kolkata, which we can all visit. In fact, Bharat is there now. A lot of people from around Pan-India go once a year to Kolkata, and they do a nice parade in Master's city, the big place where his home was. So there's these very sweetly, Hare Krishna Ghosh talks about, when Master was, came to visit them. So he was maybe in his teens at that point. And, Yogananda ji used to play pranks on the kids in the house. And so he used to, all the kids would be sleeping, and he would make little balls with paper and put it in their nose and put them in his ears and wake up kids, the sun is already up, like come on, get up. And so he was saying, he could also relate to all the children as well as he was also, at that same moment, his youngest brother came and said, I want Kriya Diksha from you. And he said, bring the whole family and I will give all of you Kriya Diksha. So he was also the guru, but he was also so appropriate with everyone. And he was so balanced, is what they tell us, his disciples. You see him as a perfect balance. He encourages all of us also. Not only too much meditation and just being so serious, like Naveen was saying, laugh also, have fun also, enjoy life also, bring that joy from inside, And then he said also, the balance between meditation and then service. We have to do activity, we have to do our dharma, but how to do it? He showed us so many examples of that. He led such an active life. He was always busy, always on the go, always doing something. But always with the consciousness of I'm doing this for God. I'm doing this for Divine Mother. Never just restless activity. So all of us, I think all of us who are Yogananda's disciples, we have energy. That's how this path takes energy, takes willpower. But to be able to train ourselves to do it for Guru. To do whatever prasad we make, whatever cooking seva. Many people have brought wonderful prasad today. Whether we do the altar here, whether we do some work of ours at home, whether we're fulfilling our dharma with our families, but you can do it with the Guru. Suddenly we don't have to do it for ourselves anymore. And there's a huge change that comes with that shift, And there's this beautiful story of Yogananda ji's also where, he had to go to the West, he had to build the work in America, he had to learn new language, he had to do so many things there. But he always had this consciousness of, I'm doing it for you, Divine Mother. And one time the organization became just too much, the people and the karma and everything. And there's a story of he just went off with Divine Mother and he said, I'm going, I'm done. I don't want to do this. And he complained to Divine Mother, I didn't come here to do all this. I want to be with you. And then he said, Divine Mother disciplined me. And she said, I am always with you. You need to do my work. And so she sent him back, And so, but again in that, how many times do all of us have, I'm done, I'm going to the Himalayas, Master, I'm coming to you. But no, you have to be right here in the world, but not of it. And he showed us that example. Do your dharma, do everything that you need to do, but do it with God, do it with me, with me holding your hand. So it's just such a wonderful, there's so many stories we have, and I would encourage you all, pick up some of these if you don't have. These are gems. They just take you into another world, like reading this yesterday, I entered into first Hare Krishna Ghosh, and then there's Peggy Dietz, which is the last chapter. She was a disciple from America and very advanced soul. The story goes that when she came to Master, he looked at her and he said, I can teach you a technique of how to exit your body. And this is when she just came to Master. And she looked at Master and said, but I already know that. What I'm trying to figure out is how to stay in the body. So imagine that level of thing. I don't want to exit yet. I need to figure out how to stay here. So those are the kind of disciples he was attracting. And she tells us as well, how amazing the example he gave of such a balance of kriya, meditation, devotion, but to do it all with that and to feel that presence, she said, that's the most important thing for all of us. So that's what I wanted to leave us with for the birthday. That was something that was in my mind. These stories are just, again, ways for us to enter a little bit of his consciousness, and to keep him with us as much as we can. And just to not ever forget, there's this very beautiful thing a few years ago. Somebody in Ananda shared, and it just popped in my head this morning. So I thought this could be a nice message for, again, Master's birthday for all of us, where she said, Yogananda came, yes, he's the avatar, Swamiji said, of Dwapara Yuga. He's a Prem avatar. These are big words, Prem avatar. He was an incarnation of divine love. He showed us how to bring that love into this world. But she said, but he also came for me. And that's for each of us. Yes, he's an avatar. Yes, he's the guru he has a mission, but he also came for me. And what does that mean? And they were encouraging us, and Swamiji also encourages us. In fact, Swamiji says, Yogananda ji, this is something that was one of his greatest spiritual gifts to the world, was he taught us how to have that personal love to the Divine Mother. How to have that personal, like in the West, in India, it's very common, we have our connections with certain deities. But he went to the West and he taught how to have that personal relationship with the Divine Mother. And Swamiji said that, in fact, in this world right now that we live, is one of the most needed things for all of us. Is to have that personal connection with the Divine. Which means what? Which means basically what Yogananda ji's example was. I don't need to do this alone. I don't need to go through all of these experiences, even the smallest of, don't ever think, oh, this test is so small, why should I bother Guru with it? No, bother him. He's so happy when we come to him. When we sometimes think this is so petty, I should not take this to him. You take it to him and he can fix it, right? And he came even for that, even for us. And it's a very sweet thought, isn't it? It's like, yes, he came for this big mission, but he also came for me. And to take every little part there. And I want to leave us with this one little practice. One time Swamiji shares that he was having a seclusion somewhere, I think near Rishikesh or something. So he came for a seclusion there. And somehow in his mind there came a lot of negativity, a lot of force. It wasn't from him even. He could feel there was a force of, these thoughts. Sometimes they are also, he explained, this is Satan's way of pulling you down. So don't ever think also for yourself, if you're going through something, oh, I am sometimes these are forces that come to us. They test us in this way. So he was going through this, and there was a lot of negative force that was trying to hold him from his seclusion, his time with Yogananda. And he tried so many things, he said. He tried chanting, he tried reasoning his way out, he tried to even think, but why are these coming? I'm not thinking these ways usually. Where's this coming from? He tried so much, and finally, you know what worked, he said? He just offered it to the Guru. He just sat, he gazed here, and he said, I offer all of this also to you. And he said, just like that, it was gone. He said, so he was explaining to us, any test which we feel we have, don't think it's too much now, just offer it. And then you realize in that moment, that was the whole point actually. That was the whole reason that even came to us, those negative things and all those tests which come in our life. It came as a grace because we finally went and surrendered. I can't do this alone, you help me. And in the process, we get much more actually, isn't it, than we even asked for. So that's one of the ways he was explaining. He was urging us, just take everything, every situation, good, bad, anything, neutral, just take it, offer it to the Guru. Let him take care of us. And in that way, we walk hand in hand with him and hold his hand strongly, tightly, marching towards the light together. So Om Guru, and happy birthday to everybody.